Have you ever wondered why, at certain points in life, even when surrounded by achievements, you still feel fragile, tired, as if you're carrying the world alone? This feeling isn't unique to you. It's part of an illusion created by modern culture. The idea that we need to be strong alone, to succeed alone, to conquer alone. But what if I told you that this belief is making us increasingly fragile? What if true human power lies not in independence, but in community? Today, I want to lead you in a deep reflection on an African principle called Ubuntu, which reminds us, I am because we are. Imagine the scene. In an African village in the heart of the night, a bonfire illuminates the faces of men, women, and children. Everyone sits in a circle, sharing stories, laughter, and songs. No one is alone. Every word echoes in the other's voice. Every glance sustains the soul of another. This is not just a cultural tradition. It represents a life principle. Human beings were not made to live in isolation. The flame that warms the heart comes not only from the fire, but from the presence of others. The modern world, however, has taught us otherwise. From an early age, we learn that we need to prove our individual strength, as if depending on someone were a sign of weakness. I don't need anyone, some say. But in reality, this isolation exacts a heavy toll. Psychology studies show that chronic loneliness is one of the most damaging factors to health, comparable even to smoking daily. The absence of true connections weakens not only the soul, but also the body. Think of an important victory in your life. Now imagine if no one was there to share that moment with you. Would it have the same glow? Achievements become lighter, more savory when there's someone to witness them. Likewise, pain becomes bearable when we have arms that welcome us. Science calls this belonging, but Ubuntu goes further. It teaches us that our identity only exists because of the other. You are not an isolated being, but part of a larger fabric called community. An African metaphor illustrates this clearly. Imagine a solitary tree in a field. It withstands the wind, but becomes vulnerable to the first strong storm. Now think of a forest. There, the roots of the trees intertwine underground, sharing nutrients, sustaining each other. While an isolated tree is fragile, the entire forest is unshakable. So too are human beings. When we live disconnected, we become fragile. But when we unite, we discover a strength we never knew existed. Modern psychology confirms this wisdom. Neuroscience studies reveal that our brains were designed for connection. Meaningful social interactions activate areas of the brain that release hormones like oxytocin, responsible for strengthening trust, reducing stress, and increasing feelings of well-being. In other words, our bodies and minds function better when we live Ubuntu. Science is only proving what African wisdom has known for centuries. Happiness and strength come from togetherness, not isolation. Now let me ask you a direct question. In what area of your life have you been trying to face everything alone? Maybe it's the anxiety you keep hidden, believing no one would understand. Maybe it's a relationship problem you're trying to solve alone. Maybe it's the feeling of not being enough, which you carry like a hidden weight. Ubuntu invites us to shift our perspective. Instead of asking, "Can I do it alone?" ask, "Who can walk with me?" Because alone you may resist for a while, but together you become unbreakable. And there's an even deeper detail. Every wound you carry can be a key to healing for someone else. Your pain can become hope for someone who's almost given up. Your testimony can be the strength that sustains someone in life's most fragile moment. Ubuntu reminds us that when we share our vulnerability, we don't become weak, we become human. And when we help someone, we not only heal the other person, but we heal ourselves as well. In life, it's not just about seeking independence. It's about recognizing interdependence. When you understand that your happiness is tied to the happiness of others, your worldview changes. You stop carrying the burden alone and start sharing it. You stop living to prove something only to yourself and start living to build something together. And this is where we find the heart of this message. You are not an island. You are part of a continent. Your life echoes in the lives of others. If you feel fragile today, perhaps the problem is not a lack of strength, but a lack of connection. The secret of human power lies not in isolation, but in unity. It lies not in saying, I can do it alone, but in recognizing we can do it together. Think of every moment you were helped, every hug that healed your pain, every word that brought clarity amidst confusion. This is Ubuntu. This is community. This is proof that alone we are fragile, but together we are strong. If this message touched your heart, I invite you not to keep it to yourself. Write in the comments below which part spoke to you most. Share this video with someone who needs a reminder that they're not alone. And if you want to continue receiving reflections that combine spirituality, African philosophy, and practical psychology, subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell. Because here we walk together. Because I am. Because we are.